What is going on? We have horrible news out of King's Dominion today, following the not so great news out of the park a few days ago, and that is Winterfest is canceled. That's crazy. All my thoughts are coming up on that, as well as they're removing a lot of it, or they're eliminating a lot of the positions for the full-time staff for KD as well. The same thing just happened at Carowinds. Carowinds is still having Winterfest, which is good. But more on my thoughts on this, because the big question is we're all upset right now. This sucks. I don't like this move at all. But how will this affect the parks in 5 years from now? That's the big question. And will we see the parks prosper? This is obviously a cost savings measure for the park. I do not understand why they would do it the way they're doing it personally, because King's Dominion, their new for 2025 attraction is Raptera, their brand new B&M launched wing coaster. And that's the perfect time to announce the Winterfest is getting expanded, because to my knowledge, the Jungle Expedition area was not a part of Winterfest. At least last year it wasn't. And that means Flight of Fear was closed, when you could definitely keep Flight of Fear open, as well as, I don't know if there's Scooby-Doo. I'm sure the Scooby-Doo ride will be open for Winterfest. Not Scooby-Doo, I'm sorry, but Boo Blasters. It's just crazy, because what it comes down to is Winterfest is a very popular event at Carowinds, Kings Island, Canada's Wonderland, and yet they removed King's Dominions. And I've heard from my buddy Eddie Tainment. Go check out Eddie Tainment, fantastic channel. He even said, look, Brandon, it really isn't that crazy busy. Now, is this because of Busch Gardens Williamsburg's Christmas event, Christmas Town I think it's called, which is like an hour away? Is it because that event is just overall better, and people in the Richmond area and the Williamsburg area and DC area have options? Possibly. I mean, I think that's the only thing that I could think of as to why KD isn't as busy. Because Kings Island is swamped with people. Hell, Canada's Wonderland is packed. And I don't even think they have any coasters open. If they do, it's like the indoor one inside the mountain. So for Kings Island to be able to have record attendance practically for Winterfest, when they only have Mystic Timbers, Racer, and Flight of Fear open, as far as large-scale coasters go, King's Dominion just has, I think, Dominator and Twisted Timbers, and then there's just no reason for it. Honestly, in my opinion, King's Dominion should at least have Backlot open, Reptilian open. I was going to say Avalanche. At least some of these other rides that they can run in the winter. Racer 75. I'm not a fan of what Six Flags is doing right now. I mean, the eliminating the positions they announced a few days ago at King's Dominions got rid of, I think, 100 full-time staff members. That's just trimming the fat, and that's just business. And while I agree and I don't agree that there needs to be change in that aspect, I do not agree how they did it. I think that's wrong. But I definitely feel like that these parks, Cedar Fair parks, are way staffed more than the current Six Flags parks, because a year or two ago, same thing happened to all these Six Flags parks. They went around and they eliminated a lot of positions, trimmed the fat as far as staffing goes, and guess what? The parks really haven't seen, in my opinion, the parks that I went to last year, Great Adventure over Georgia, and Fiesta Texas and over Texas, parks are running great. So I just think it's going to take some time for park visitors, but mainly the employees of those parks to kind of realize, okay, right now it stinks if you are in a management role or supervisor role and you have to do more duties than what you once were able to do. It's just the way it is at this time, unfortunately. But Carowinds eliminated positions as well, and they're not done yet. I would safely say all the major Cedar Fair original legacy parks are probably going to go through the same type of thing, unfortunately. It's just the way it is. The economy's not that great. Cost of living's through the roof. People can't afford to go to the parks, and they can because they make these prices so cheap for people to afford. That's why you see the parks slammed. like Cedar Point, for example, which is ridiculous. In my opinion, these passes should cost a little bit more because the value that we all get out of these passes is a lot more than what we're being charged for. But the big question is with Winterfest at King's Dominion, I'm shocked they did it this year with Raptera opening up. It's gonna be a huge year for the park, and it comes down to where Raptera could easily operate for Winterfest, and that means again that Jungle Expedition area would be open for all of us to enjoy, and it would probably drive in more attendance because it's a brand new ride. People want to come ride it. Busch Gardens Williamsburg does not have anything like this down there. That's a win-win situation. I could see in a situation where King's Dominion would consider removing Winterfest if, the big question is if they had it this year, they held the event this year, and attendance just wasn't up to par, even with Raptera. And I could see that being the situation for sure. But my main thing is the Cedar Fair in Six Flags, obviously they merged, but Salim is calling a lot of these shots. And we all don't really like Salim very much. I think some of his decisions are ridiculous, but I think some have been beneficial. But this is, I really, what I'm trying to say is Cedar Fair, Legacy Cedar Fair, as much as we rave about a lot of the things that they do right, they're not perfect, but they just give up on things so easily, and it makes me so mad. Like, year-round operation for King's Dominion and Carowinds. Yeah, no, King's Dominion fans, not only did they just remove Winterfest, they just removed year-round operations last year as well. So I just feel, I think that when it comes down to the big picture, you remove this event, the Legacy Cedar Fair representatives or the board or whoever makes the decisions for Cedar Fair, they obviously have no patience because it takes patience. You have to spend some money to make some money, and you have to make sure that your product is a solid product. And most importantly, get your head out of your butt and realize that, hey, in order to make money, you have to spend money on marketing. For example, Carowinds. I live here in the Charlotte area, about 30 minutes away from the park, and guess what? There's hardly any billboards around Charlotte promoting these awesome events the park has. I will never understand that. There's more Dollywood billboards in Charlotte than there is for Carowinds. And Dollywood's 3.5 hours away, about 4 hours away, really. I'd imagine the same scenario in Richmond, where you see more Busch Gardens Williamsburg billboards than King's Dominions. Maybe even so in DC. So I think it comes down to, I don't like the decisions. I think it's wrong. King's Dominion and the fans deserve better than this. It's a beautiful park, beautiful at Winterfest. And for them to pull the axe on the event after 2 years, and I read somewhere where they spent around $25 million just to get the event jump started. Basically, when they introduced Winterfest to King's Dominion, they spent a lot of money on it. So it's not the weather, guys, because Canada's Wonderland is just north of Toronto, and it's cold as ever up there for the winter event. Kings Island's very cold usually. King's Dominion has a warmer climate than Cincinnati, Ohio has. Same as obviously Charlotte. So there's just so many, like, how mad can we be? I think we have a right to be upset. I really, really do. And I don't like the lack of communication that the parks have done. I mean, for example, King's Dominion has not mentioned one thing about Winterfest being removed on X. Not one. I think that's wrong. I think it's going to come back and bite them in the butt. Honestly, I think that's disrespecting your fan base and your customers. And I really hope that the people running the new Six Flags, mostly Cedar Fair people, hope they understand that, if you really want to make an event work, it takes time. It takes money. It takes building that relationship with the customer and making sure that, hey, you know what, we're going to improve every single year. Now, after 4, 5, 6 years, you're not returning profit, attendance is not increasing, different story, get rid of the event. But for Winterfest, I think this was the 3rd year, maybe the 4th year for it. I mean, there was COVID year, but just really unfortunately. And Hopefully, no other parks out there in the chain gets the sudden announcement that their Winterfest or holiday in the park events canceled. It wouldn't surprise me if more will announce this. Unfortunately, I just hope and pray that we have the parks get back on track financially, and we can all be just having a better life in the parks, because this sucks. I mean, not having King's Dominion in November and December and first few days of January in some cases, that my heart goes out to everyone that likes to visit the park then, and it's just unfortunate. So with that being said, if you're curious about which coasters I think could get removed next in the Six Flags chain, we already know Anaconda's gone, and what's it called? Carowinds, Nighthawk, thank God. This video at the bottom of your screen is just for you. With that being said, let me know your thoughts on this. Once again, my name is Brandon. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to smile today, think positive, and keep riding coasters. I talk too fast. Have a great day.